Hey guys, it's Tim, and this is Wrestling Unlimited, as it's Friday, and that means tonight was Friday Night Smackdown. As far as tonight's Friday Night Smackdown does go, I thought this was a really good go-home show for tomorrow's King and Queen of the Ring pay-per-view. This show was good from start to finish, I will say that for sure. This show really put the emphasis on tomorrow, and like we see a lot of times with the go-home show, like they build stuff and they tell you, hey, the pay-per-view's coming, hey, we got this, hey, we got that. Like this week's Raw was an okay go-home show. This week's Dynamite for AEW was an okay go-home show, but I felt like SmackDown this week did everything they could to push that pay-per-view tomorrow. They said, this is the last opportunity we got to push this show, and we're going to push it to the max. And I think they did a great job as a go-home show. Overall, I thought it was a good show as well, but I got to praise them as this is what a go-home show is supposed to be. Every second, every moment should be telling you about that pay-per-view. Should be building something for the pay-per-view, for the big show this weekend. So I feel like they really did a good job hyping up the pay-per-view, building it up, and leading us into what we're going to see tomorrow. We got some changes to the King and the Queen of the Ring tournament. As we learned on Thursday, yesterday, Triple H did state that the winners of both the King and Queen of the Ring will be getting championship matches come SummerSlam in August. And that's a change, because the only person I ever remember getting a title match after winning King of the Ring is Brock Lesnar. Brock won the 2002 King of the Ring, beating RVD in the finals, and then he went on to SummerSlam that year and beat The Rock for the WWE Championship. Other than that, I don't remember what a King of the Ring winner has really gotten, if I'm gonna be completely honest. I can't think of anything. Tell me, what did Austin get when he won King of the Ring? 316. That came out of King of the Ring. What did Triple H get when he won King of the Ring? Nothing really. Haku? Harley Race? Brett? Owen? Like nothing. So I'm glad there is now an emphasis on winning King of the Ring, and there's a reason you want to win King of the Ring. Now, not just because, hey, I won, like with Xavier Woods a couple years ago. It's so cool to win. Now that it's like, oh, no. I'm winning and getting a title shot, a world title shot. Which now means, unfortunately, guys like an Xavier Woods, guys like, William Regal, most recently, Baron Corbin, well, maybe Baron Corbin, aren't going to be winning King of the Ring. It's going to be top big level names now winning King of the Ring, because then they're going on to main event SummerSlam. That is awesome in its own right. But the way this makes it different, so you might say, okay, it's just like Royal Rumble. You win the Royal Rumble, you main event WrestleMania. The difference here is you win the Royal Rumble, you then challenge any champion for their championship, for their title. Whether that's the champion of your brand, if you're on Raw, you challenge the Raw champion. If you're on Raw, you want to challenge SmackDown champion, challenge SmackDown champion. As Charlotte Flair, want to challenge NXT champion, challenge the NXT champion. But with King and Queen of the Ring, it is win and you challenge your brand's champion. Which, to be honest though, does, in my opinion, make the finals a little more predictable. Because I'll just jump into it. I can't see Gunther versus Damian Priest at SummerSlam. Now, granted, it may not be Damian Priest holding that title 3 months from now. Maybe it's Drew McIntyre holding that title 3 months from now. I can see Drew McIntyre versus Gunther main eventing SummerSlam. But if we look at who the champions are right now, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes, that match is going to be phenomenal. And having Randy win King of the Ring to get to that match is the perfect way to do it, because it's babyface. You're not going to get there any other way. So how else, unless Randy goes heel, are you going to get Randy challenging Cody for the belt? Winning King of the Ring. So that's what I'm thinking. And then when we look at the Queen's side, the women's side, I see it as Nia Jax winning and then going on to challenge Bayley for the championship. Again, granted, Bayley can lose that title before now and then, but I doubt she loses it to Piper Niven, no offense. And we look on the other side, Lyra Valkyria. They're not going to do Lyra versus Becky. I mean, they could, but I doubt it. Yet, what if Liv wins the belt tomorrow, holds it to SummerSlam, and it's living Lyra. I could see that. So the women's not as predictable when you look down the road and not at what can be set up tomorrow, because you have to think there's multiple shows. There's the championship matches tomorrow. There's Clash of the Castle. There's Bash at Berlin, I think, is before. Let me double check. When is Bash at Berlin? There's Money in the Bank, too, that pay-per-view. There's Clash of the Castle, Money in the Bank. Bash at Berlin is after SummerSlam, but there's still Clash of the Castle and Money in the Bank to get to, excuse me, to get to where we need to get to with who's going to be the champion going into SummerSlam. That's the big thing. We don't know. So I've kind of changed my mind here for a second. Not on who I think is winning. I still think it's Nia and Randy Orton. But I've changed my mind on saying that it makes the finals more predictable. Maybe in another year, it's not as predictable. Because you have to think again, like I'm sitting, and now I'm just rambling for a moment here. It's not about making your prediction off of who is the champion right now and who in the finals can challenge the current champion. It's who in the finals do I think is going to go over, and who do I think could be the champion come SummerSlam. So that's just how I'm looking at it. That's how you got to look at it. That's how it's going to work out. But I think putting an emphasis on the King of the Ring like this makes it feel more prestigious, makes it feel more important, and makes it just feel more big time overall. But with that, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PWU Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, if you are watching live on Twitch, you can help us out a couple of different ways. You can either help us out by hitting that donate button down below or donating Twitch bits in the live chat. Also, remember, you can help us out by subscribing to the channel one of two different ways. You can either subscribe with a tiered subscription, or you can subscribe with Amazon Prime, because remember, if you have Amazon Prime, then you have Prime Gaming. Prime Gaming gives you a lot of cool things like free games, free stuff for games, and you always get one free subscription to any Twitch channel you want to subscribe to throughout the month, and I'd greatly appreciate it if you did right here for Wrestling Unlimited. Also, remember, head over to YouTube and help us out over there as well. Hit that subscribe button. That way you know when we post new videos. That way you know when we go live. And that way you know when we post to the community tab. If you want to support the channel another way, you can hit that join button and become a channel member. Even if it's just at the $1 tier, we greatly appreciate the help. Greatly appreciate the help, support, everything. Whether that is as a channel member on YouTube or at patreon.com/PWU Unlimited. And finally, if you want to get your comment, question, or concern read live on the air, you can do so by donating a super chat in the live chat. And finally, head over to the Epic Game Store. Head over to the Epic Game Store and buy something. Whether you're buying a new game, whether you're buying an old game, whether you're claiming a free game or getting bucks for Rocket League, Fortnite, or Fall Guys, use this code right here, PW Unlimited at checkout, and you will be supporting us at no extra cost. Maybe you're getting a newer game, like let's see, where's some of the newer games out right now? You got Ghost of Tsushima is now finally on PC. Maybe you're getting that. Maybe you're getting Hades 2. The new Wrecked season just came out for Fortnite, so maybe you need to get into that. Maybe you want to play as Magneto. You want to get some V-Bucks. Use this code right here, PWU Unlimited, PWU NLIMITED, for all Epic Games and Epic Game Store purchases. Go claim the free game. It's Farming Simulator 22. When you do, put in this code, PWU Unlimited. I'm doing it right now. I'm going to time myself to see how long this takes. And go. And I'm not logged in. So that's going to take a lot longer. But why am I not logged in to the Epic Game Store? That's weird. That's dumb. Never mind. It logged me out yesterday too, which is weird. Anywho, support us over there on the Epic Game Store with the code PW Unlimited. But with that, let's get in to talking about Friday Night Smackdown. Corey Graves welcomes us to the show and talks by himself for so long that I thought he was going solo tonight. Like, he's doing the cold open and he's doing all this other stuff and he's welcoming us to Jeddah and this, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, no, Wade. And then eventually when Bianca starts coming out for her entrance, he then introduces Wade Barrett and I go, oh, okay. I'm like, this is kind of weird, but whatever. But no, Wade Barrett was there. So we get The SmackDown finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. It is Bianca Belair versus Nia Jax. They showed footage of Paul Levesque announcing yesterday that the winners of the tournament will be getting title shots. So that's really cool. And if I'm going to be honest, this was a really good opening match for the show. I thought these two worked really well together. They got 11 and a half minutes almost. And, you know, they played up the knee injury for Bianca. They made this feel like a big deal. Liver was in the front row right behind the commentary table. So they kept cutting to her saying, hey, whoever wins this is facing her tomorrow. So they made this seem important. And I haven't seen this type of an importance on a King of the Ring tournament in a very, very long time. Or Queen of the Ring, but this is only the second Queen of the Ring. The Queen's crown. We ain't calling it that no more. That's a forbidden word. The two locked up early, and Jax threw Belair to the mat. Jax threw Belair around until Belair hopped on Jax's back. But Jax ran Belair into the corner. Eventually, Belair tried to work a corner punch, but Jax countered until Belair returned the favor and started hammering away on Jax to get an advantage. Jax did, though, run at Belair, and Belair moved for Jax to go shoulder first into the post. With Jax now on the outside, Belair landed a springboard crossbody over the ropes as the show went to a commercial break about 10 minutes into the show. Once the show did return, Jax had control and pulled out a tiny crown to put on her head. Jax toyed with Belair and worked Belair's knee. Jax landed a Samoan drop and got a 2 off of it. Eventually, Belair went to the top and hit a crossbody for a 2 of her own. Belair followed this up with a series of forearms, but Jax took Belair down and went back to working over the injured knee. With Jax on the top rope, Belair lifted Jax up for an impressive powerbomb. Got a very close near fall out of it. The crowd started chanting, "This is awesome." Belair tried to lift Jax for a KOD, but Jax fought out and went back to Belair's knee. Jax climbed the ropes again, but Belair caught Jax and lifted Jax for a KOD. But this time, her knee buckled and gave out, and both women fell down. Jax then hit a Samoan drop, hit her finish to annihilate her, and pinned Bianca Belair to win and move on to the finals of the Queen of the Ring tournament. So initially when I looked at all these brackets and I'm looking and saying, okay, the Raw side, I don't know. The SmackDown side, I don't know. We see where the first round goes and I go, okay, I can see the SmackDown side going Bianca Belair. But once they started playing up the knee injury and once they said winner gets a title shot at SummerSlam, I go, Nia's winning the whole thing. And so Nia winning tonight solidifies my change in my mind, the change in my mind of, no, I'm going to go Nia now. So we'll see if I'm right. Well, my prediction is Nia Jax winning the entire tournament. After the match, Jax was interviewed by Lyra, interviewed and talked about Lyra. Kayla Braxton asked her, what are your thoughts going into the finals tomorrow? You will be facing this woman over here, Lyra Valkyria. This is a weird promo. But Jax told Lyra, I'm going to buzz through you. Just like I buzzed through the rest of the tournament. Just like I buzzed through Bianca tonight. Jax said that she'll be both the queen and the champion once SummerSlam comes around. And it's going to start with buzzing through Lyra. What the fuck does this mean? I'm going to buzz through you? Buzz like a bee? I'm going to sting you like a bee? I don't know. This is kind of weird. I don't get the buzz part, but whatever. She's gonna buzz right through her. You go backstage, and you see Bianca Belair there favoring the injured, hurt knee, and then weirdly, oddly, just out of nowhere, Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae come up and start making fun of her. They taunt her, call her a loser, and then Jade walks up. Jade basically saves the day, kind of tells them to piss off or whatever. And then tells Bianca, don't mind them. Fargo said that she was going to talk to somebody about these two little ones, or whatever she called them, something weird name. Basically, we learned later that on the pre-show, we haven't had a pre-show match for WWE pay-per-views in a very long time, but on the pre-show, it will be Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Cool. Pre-show match. But you do got to wake up early. Well, earlier than normal. What time does this show even start? I think they said 10. So really we got to wake up at 9 because we don't know what time that match is going to be. Let me go to Peacock. Peacock says that the show starts at Who's what? 8 a.m. Pacific? This says the show's listed for 7 hours. You got a 2-hour pre-show? What? Okay. I'll pull this up on the screen. Whoops, wrong button. Right here, look at this. Look at this bullshit. Right down here. Tomorrow, 8 a.m. is when it starts. They don't have separate things for the pre-show anymore. So it's all just lumped into one. 8 a.m., 7 hours. We're getting a 5-hour show and a 2-hour pre-show? They're saying today, 10 a.m. is when the show officially starts. We're getting a 2-hour pre-show? Does that mean we're getting more matches on the pre-show? I don't know. We'll see. We haven't got no Smackdown Lowdown or whatever they call it. So maybe they announced one more pre-show match. And that's why it's a 2-hour pre-show. But, okay. Cool, I guess. But then we get the Grayson Waller effect. And this just wasn't that good at all, I'm going to say. It was effective in a way. But then I'm like, but what is it really building to? Because you think it's building to the Street Profits going for the tag titles. And then later, they start building up the Street Profits in DIY. And why is Carmelo and LA Knight involved in this? I don't know. Like, you would think at first, okay, I know where this is leading to. Cool, I liked it. But then they start doing other things, and you go, wait, what? Huh? So this was hosted by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory, the WWE Tag Team Champions. Crowd chanted, I think they were chanting STD. I'm not 100% sure. And they talked about the guest tonight being LA Knight, a loser. But then all of a sudden out comes Carmelo Hayes. Hayes walks out and said it sounded like they were describing Hayes when they said, well, first, when they said all of his accolades and this and that. And then they said, well, you know, this guy is also haven't been winning much lately. That, not Carmelo Hayes, but whatever. Also, Hayes felt very scripted tonight. Very scripted. Hayes called himself the hottest new superstar on Smackdown going right now. And I'm just like, oh my God. They're playing up. He's supposed to be a heel. And he was a good heel in NXT. But now he's supposed to be that cocky heel that thinks he's great. But he's lost twice since getting called up. So it's like, everyone knows he's great. But right now we're supposed to think he's just okay. Losing twice. Anyways. Actually, 3 times with this match. Anywho. Theory looked unhappy that Hayes had come out and said, guys like them should stick together. Waller and Theory agreed that Knight doesn't suck after all. Hayes said that they have to be the ones to show the veterans how it's done. He brought up Bobby Lashley and said all the advice that they've been getting from veterans, well, not good, because the veterans ain't doing too well. Hayes said that those guys, well, they're just jealous and egomaniacs. Hayes said, speaking of egomaniacs, let's talk about LA Knight. The crowd erupted, LA Knight, LA Knight, LA Knight. Waller said the Knight can't win the big one. He said he's got many opportunities and he's failed every time. The 3 heels took pot shots at Knight, and then Knight's music would hit. As a result, the crowd went nuts for LA Knight coming out here tonight. Knight then erected the Grayson Waller effect set. After Knight's music ended, you hear the crowd chanting for LA Knight again. Knight then said, let me talk to you. Actually, that was a bad LA Knight. Let me do it again. Let me talk to you. Not a little better. Crowd popped when he said it. He's like, I'm going to keep this short and sweet. And then he confronted Carmelo Hayes and said, if you keep knocking on his door, he's going to bite. He's going to bite the hell out of him. Knight then went to leave the ring, but Hayes attacked Knight, who quickly fought back. Theory and Waller immediately joined in 3-on-1, and that's when the Street Profits music hit. They ran out, made the save, and the whole thing turned into a 6-man tag. So, very weird. It's like, okay, they're building up. Street Profits want to go for the tag titles, but DIY won what they considered a #1 contender match last week, and then later we'll talk about it. They do a segment backstage with DIY and the Street Profits, and Ciampa was super healing it. So, I don't know what's going on with all this, but before the match does air, we do get a Blair Davenport video hyping up her coming to the main roster in SmackDown. So we did get the tag team champions Austin Theory and Grayson Waller with Carmelo Hayes taking on the Street Profits and LA Knight. So Hayes and Montez began the match. Ford had control to begin, but the two traded wrist locks until Ford hit a drop kick and then danced a little bit. Dawkins tagged in, and Hayes gained control by landing a facebuster. Knight and Theory then tagged in, and the crowd went crazy for LA Knight. One of the biggest stars on the show tonight. Like, I think him and Randy Orton may got the best pops, best reactions. Waller tagged in, but Knight kept the upper hand until Dawkins tagged in and hit a series of moves on Waller. Dawkins tried a splash, but Theory pulled Waller out of the way. With Dawkins on the outside, the heels posed, and the show went to a commercial break. Back from the break, Hayes was in control over Dawkins. Hayes went for a springboard move, but Dawkins caught him with a back suplex. On the outside, Knight took out the heels and got on the apron to receive the hot tag. Knight then stomped a mud hole in Waller and clotheslined Hayes. Knight landed a flying tackle and a pop-up power slam on Waller. Waller followed this up with an elbow drop for a 2. Things then kind of broke down, and all 6 wrestlers hit their signature moves on each other. Waller went for a rolling move, but he ran right into a BFT. Knight and Hayes then fought over the commentary desk. Ford, meanwhile, hit a frog splash on Austin Theory and pinned him to pick up the victory. So again, you got the Street Profits pinning one of the tag team champions, but then you got DIY, who they said last week won a match to become a contender. So I don't know what's going on here. Maybe triple bet? I don't know. Well, we got now multiple teams in line to face Theory and Waller, A-Town Down Under, for the tag titles. Good match, though, I will say. Good match. A lot of good wrestling on this show tonight. So we had what they were advertising. So this was weird, because when the segment starts, we're to think that it's only Cody Rhodes talking about the match tomorrow. That's going to be it. They advertised it during the show. Cody Rhodes is here. Cody's going to come out and talk to the live crowd. Yet, we knew Logan was going to interrupt because they said on the website, WWE.com, that this week on SmackDown, we would get the final confrontation between Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul. Anyways, Cody comes out, and this was a little weird. So Cody comes out for his entrance, and he walks down the aisle. He goes to walk up the steps, and for some reason, pretend this is the ring post, and these are the steel steps. Normally, steel steps butted right up against it. Let's do it this way. Butted right up against it, right? But for some reason, the steps were pulled back a little bit. It was weird. They were pulled back a little bit. Cody walks to the top of the steps and kind of looks. The crowd then does the whoa, and Cody doesn't, because Cody didn't climb the ropes to then do the whoa. And then he just gets in the ring. I don't know what the hell happened here. So Cody's in the ring, and before he could say anything, the music of Logan Paul hits. Paul walks down the aisle with microphone in hand and called Cody a victim. Paul said he's got facts for Cody and said that all that bleach, well, maybe ruining Cody's brain. Paul said that he's a better athlete and entertainer than Cody Rhodes. Paul started receiving the what treatment. I will say, what's the word I'm looking for? Reacted to the what's better than he has in the past tonight. I will say that. Paul eventually got to the ring, and Cody told Paul that this experience would lead him to believe that Paul is just a scared kid, and that Paul fears that someone will see Paul as nothing more than a fraud. Cody said, that he has seen how good Paul can be, how good Paul is. But Paul has a case of imposter syndrome. Cody said that Paul probably has brass knucks on him right now. And they also played a video from the WWE Experience. They were doing like a fan thing where Michael Cole was interviewing both Cody and Logan Paul. And Logan said, Michael Cole, you can take my brass knucks. I will not use them during the match. And that's what he said again tonight. He's like, no. I already told you, Cody. I'm a man of my word. I will not use brass knucks in our match tomorrow. I will not have brass knucks for our match. And so I go, oh, well, he's got them on him right now. And so when Cody asked him that question, he goes, I don't got nothing on me. Well, what did I tell you? I gave them to Michael Cole. Michael Cole's got my brass knucks. Cody goes, well, our good friend Ryan Tran, referee Ryan Tran, is right over there. How about you have him check for you? See if you got brass knucks on you. So the first referee actually checks Cody. Cody's clean. Referee then checks Paul. And he's checking him. Goes up one leg, nothing in that leg. Starts to go down. This was great. Ryan Tran played this off so well. So he's patting down Logan. And when he gets to his side pocket, you see him go. And he looks down, opens the pocket, and Logan's just going, and Ryan Tran pulls out the brass knucks, shows them to Cody. And Logan's got a million different excuses. Those aren't my brass knucks. These aren't even my pants. I don't usually wear cargo pants. My pants got lost and I had to wear somebody else's pants. These aren't my pants. No, they can't be mine. So Paul responds by noting that the knucks were not his, but maybe they could be. Maybe he's only have them on him for protection because of where they're at, but they're not for the match tomorrow. Paul said that he doesn't need brass knucks to beat Cody. Cody said the knucks were the difference because it was a crutch for Logan Paul. Cody doesn't need a crutch. Cody said that his title is his whole life. The crowd chanted for Cody. Cody said that he didn't think of Paul as a YouTuber. No. Instead, Cody said that he thinks of Paul as a real pro wrestler. But until Paul respects the business of professional wrestling, he will never be on Cody's level. Cody's music hits and the segment ends. I thought this was very effective. I really enjoyed this segment. I thought it worked very, very well. A little hokey with the whole brass knuckle thing, but I loved Cody saying, you may have some imposter syndrome. You may not believe in yourself as much as you believe in yourself, and that's why you have to put on this charade of making yourself sound better than you may be to yourself. We see that you're really good, but maybe you have to keep convincing yourself. Cody's like, also, I see how good you are and how good you can be, but until you respect the business that you are now in, you will never be on my level. So I liked all of this. I thought this was very effective. I liked it and thought it worked really well. Byron Saxton's in the back interviewing Randy Orton. Orton said that Tonga is vicious, but unfortunately for Tonga, Orton is unhinged. And tonight, Tonga will be hit with the 3 most dangerous letters in all of sports and entertainment. The R-K-O. Bayley was shown walking backstage. She walks by Nia Jax. She tells Bayley to keep the title clean. And Bayley kind of looked at her, didn't really respond or nothing, and then made her entrance for her match with Chelsea Green. Then the Street Profits were shown backstage. This was weird. Street Profits were shown backstage. And DIY walks into frame. Ciampa then grabs Montez's solo cup and pours it out. And it's just water. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's something else. Maybe it's some other clear liquid, clear alcohol. But he just pours out water. And he kind of looks like he's almost disappointed in what he's pouring out of this cup. And I'm like, what the hell are they doing? Why are you pouring out his cup? What, huh? I don't know. Ciampa felt like a heel. Johnny really didn't do anything, but it was all Ciampa. Ciampa, great character work here. So, I don't know where this is leading to. Maybe DIY and the Street Profits in a number 1 contenders match, but I thought DIY already won a number 1 contenders match because they said if DIY won last week, they would be considered a top contender. So I don't know where this is leading to because Street Profits did just pin one of the tag champs tonight. So you would think they're in line, but DIY is supposed to be in line. So I don't know. I'm all kinds of confused with this one. So then we get a 4-minute and 45-second match. It's Bayley versus Chelsea Green. We actually saw glimpses of good Chelsea Green, not the character that she plays where she's not a good wrestler and always needs somebody to protect her. But we saw glimpses of what we've seen in the past of Chelsea Green's a damn good pro wrestler. And they talked about that tonight during this match. They said when Chelsea Green actually focuses, she can go in there and hang with the best of them. So early on, Green does have the advantage. She knocks Bayley down early. At one point, she does this move where she backs Bayley up into the corner. She then runs at Bayley and does a baseball slide out of the ring. And when she's sliding out of the ring, at the same time, she hooks the leg of Bayley and Bayley falls face first. She then grabs Bayley and pulls her onto the apron where Bayley's kind of draped hanging off the apron. She runs and kicks Bayley in the head into the ring steps. I'm like, oh, yes, give us competent wrestler Chelsea Green. I always thought Chelsea Green was one of the better female pro wrestlers not signed in WWE when she was out of WWE. I thought from a ring work standpoint and a character standpoint, she was one of the best out there. Like her, Deonna Purrazzo, those women that were in TNA. Her, Deonna Purrazzo, Jordan Grace, and Taya Valkyrie. I thought of the women not signed to WWE, those were the best, and Chelsea was one of them, right up there. But since she's come to WWE and played this Karen character, granted she's a multi-time tag team champion and everything, but I think multi-time. Anyways, but we know how good Chelsea Green is in the ring. I just want to see that here. Anywho, Green goes to the top rope at one point and hit a drop kick and got a 2 off of it. Bayley did come back and hit a jawbreaker, but Green countered by kicking Bayley. And then the show went to a commercial break. My notes are weird there. When the show did return, which most of this match was unfortunately during a break, Green still had the control and landed a Rough Rider for a 2. Green then ran at Bayley, but Bayley turned it into a powerbomb / Rhodes plant combo and picked up the victory. And after the match, Bayley gets attacked and laid out by Piper Niven. So we all see where this is going. We saw this last week. I predicted it last week. It's very obvious. At Clash at the Castle in Glasgow, Scotland, Piper Niven is going to challenge Bayley. They haven't said it yet, but Piper Niven is going to challenge Bayley for the WWE Championship, the Women's Championship. And they did one of their online exclusive videos after this showing Piper and Chelsea coming backstage from the ring. And I think it was Byron said, hey, what was all that? Why'd you attack Bayley? And she just said, Bayley needs to watch out for till the next time we clash or something like that. So Clash at the Castle, it's Bayley and Piper Niven. I can almost guarantee that. I would put money on it that's the match we're getting. They've told us. Bayley ain't working tomorrow, but they're already set up Bayley's next challenger. So then we get something that I really liked. AJ Styles and Nick Aldis. This was great character work by AJ Styles. AJ's been playing a heel for a while, but he's slowly changing. He's slowly turning into a babyface for the sole fact that he knows his time on top is coming soon to an end. He knows that he's getting up there in age and he doesn't have much time to become a world champion again and just wants that one last opportunity. He said, I saw what I can do at Backlash. You saw what I could do at Backlash. Give me one more shot. So AJ Styles walks into Nick Aldis' office. He's like, just give me 1 second of your time. I just want 1 second of your time. I want another shot at the championship. I want another shot at Cody Rhodes. You saw how close I came to winning that match. We tore the house down, me and Cody. Give me one more chance. He's like, I almost beat Randy Orton in this tournament. Give me another shot. I know I don't have much more time. I know that this might be my last opportunity. And Aldis was like, as a friend, I would give you that opportunity right now. But this isn't friendship. This is not personal. This is business. And when it comes down to business, you already got your opportunity and you haven't earned another one. Styles said, he tells Styles, you have to earn another shot. I can't just give it to you. That's not how things work here. Styles said that Aldis knows that his time is coming up. He's like, you know, as well as I know, my time here on the top at this level is not for long. And Aldis just said, well, I can't help you unless you earn an opportunity. And AJ looked very dejected and left the room. So basically, AJ Styles wants one more shot at the World Championship, one more shot at the WWE title. He wants Cody or whoever's the champion. He said, I don't care who the champion is. I want one more shot. And Nick Aldis is like, I think you're one of the best. I think you're great, but I can't just give it to you. So now Cody or AJ is going to have to go on this redemption tour, I guess you could say. He's going to have to go on a little run to earn himself somehow a shot at the championship. And I hope he does this the old school way of picking up a bunch of wins and then eventually going, hey, I beat this guy and I beat that guy and I beat this guy and I beat that guy, and now I'm back at you. I worked my way back to the front of the line. I hope he doesn't just one night come out and attack Cody and then go, oh, I want you at Clash of the Castle. I beat you down. Kind of like they're doing with Piper Niven and Bayley. I hope they don't go that route with AJ. I hope they slowly use this to turn AJ babyface. And AJ works his way up, picking up wins and wins and wins to get back to Cody. And I honestly even want them to mention, Cody just beat whoever, I don't know, LA Knight on SmackDown. Cody just beat Tonga on SmackDown. But we had live events this past weekend. Or not Cody, AJ. But we had live events this weekend. And AJ beat this guy. And AJ beat that guy. And AJ has not lost a match, whether that is televised or non-televised, in X amount of matches, X amount of weeks, X amount of days. And they start ranking it up and telling us, even at the live events, AJ hasn't been beat. So I hope that's the route they go. Not the other one of he's going to do a dastardly heel thing to get the title shot. I hope they do it the old school way of build him up. And he's going to build himself up. We're going to get a vignette hyping up Andrade coming to SmackDown. Andrade spoke in Spanish with subtitles and talked about this being his destiny. Andrade said that he knows who he is and what he wants to be. Look, I don't know if Phantasma was watching the video, and I think it was Berto was like, nah, I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy at all. And Santos was speaking, and they were just talking about Andrade. It's kind of odd, and then they were cut off by commentary. We then see Paul Heyman, Solo Sikoa, and Tama Tonga. Heyman tells us that Tonga Loa could not get into the country. He could not get him across the border because the paperwork wasn't filled out right. I'm like, what? Okay. Or not filled out on time or whatever. And I'm like, you've had plenty of time to get Tonga Loa's. And then he starts talking about, these guys are dangerous. That's why we haven't brought him into the bloodline before. What are you doing, Solo? We didn't bring these guys in the bloodline before because of their past and their records. And that. So they're making them sound like these guys are hardened criminals. Tama Tonga and Tangaloa. And Heyman asked him, have you spoken to the tribal chief? Have you spoken to Roman? He's like, yeah, I have. And again, I'm going to reiterate to you, Paul. While the tribal chief is out, I am in charge of the bloodline. I am making all the decisions. Tama Tonga then gets in Paul Heyman's face and basically just tells him, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to beat Randy Orton and I'm going to win the King of the Ring and I'm going to get that title shot at SummerSlam by orders of our tribal chief. He then walks off. Solo gets a big grin on his face and Randy Orton's music hits. That was the first time I think, and I could be wrong, we heard Tama Tonga actually speak, not like Donnie Thornberry. But yeah. Then we had Randy Orton versus Tama Tonga. Now, nobody thought Tama Tonga was winning this. But even though this match was very predictable, this match was great. I have always said that I felt like Tama Tonga was the Randy Orton of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Granted, Tama Tonga was never like a world champion or anything over there, but just from like his presence, his in-ring capabilities and style, he just always felt like at the level of Randy Orton, and like he had the coolness that Randy Orton had, because Randy Orton always felt cool. And then at times Randy Orton was a dastardly heel and an asshole. And Tama Tonga at times, like with the Bullet Club, dastardly heel and an asshole, but also cool at the same time. So it's like, they see these guys clash one-on-one. I loved it. It was a dream for me. So as soon as the bell rings, Tama Tonga immediately runs at Orton and attacks him, pushes him up into the corner. Tonga then walked into a fall-away slam from Orton. Orton then followed this up by running Tonga into the ring post, shoulder first. Orton then went to the second rope and worked a series of punches on Tonga's head before throwing Tonga outside of the outside of the ring. Orton then went to do the back suplex on the announce table, but Tama Tonga actually flipped out of it, which is really cool. He reversed it, or countered it, I guess you would say. He then hit a chop block on Randy Orton as the show went to the break. Remember, Orton's kind of been favoring the knee. He actually had it taped up as well. The show returns and Tama Tonga is in control, working over Orton's leg. Tonga went for a frog splash, but Orton moved and things reset. Orton teased a draping DDT, but Tonga fought out of it. From there, Tonga kept focusing on Orton's knee. Tonga worked a sleeper hold until Orton backed Tonga into the corner, but Tonga wouldn't let go. It wasn't until Orton hit a back suplex that he was able to keep Tonga down. Orton then landed a bunch of clotheslines and a snap power slam. Tonga came back with the back body drop and sent Orton over the top rope. On the outside, Orton suplexed Tama Tonga on the commentary table finally, twice actually. He then threw him back in the ring and Orton hit a draping DDT. Orton set it for an RKO, but when he went for it, Tama Tonga pushed him out of the way, kind of countered it a little bit, and Solo was up on the apron. So when Orton gets pushed off, he runs it solo, knocks Solo off the apron. He then gets rolled up by Tama Tonga. 1, 2, kick out. Orton then all of a sudden pops up, hits the RKO, and there we go. Pins Tama Tonga to make the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Solo then jumps in the ring, and Tama Tonga and Solo Sikoa beat down Randy Orton until Kevin Owens would make his big return, run out to the ring, and save Randy Orton. Solo and Tama run off, and then Randy sets his sights over there, behind the commentary, on Gunther. And oh boy, tomorrow we are getting Randy Orton versus Gunther one-on-one. I'm going to tell you right now, I have a good feeling this match is getting time. Like, a lot of time. And this match is going to be awesome. I could see it now, especially with the stakes on the line. You got the King of the Ring. You got the title match, the #1 contendership. It's like, oh, they're going to put so much into this match, and they're going to give it time. I can feel it. This match feels big. It feels important, and I'm here for it. Gunther versus Randy Orton. One of my favorite of all time versus one of my favorite right now. Randy, one of my favorite ever. And Gunther, one of my favorite now. I think Gunther is one of the best pro wrestlers in the entire world right now. He is a top. When you look at all the pro wrestlers in the world right now, I think Gunther is a top 5. I don't know who I would put exactly like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I could say like Will Ospreay, Gunther, Cody Rhodes. I guess Gunther's a top 3. No, there's no specific order, but like Will Ospreay, Cody Rhodes, Gunther. Fuck, I don't even know who else I would put at like the top. Like those are my top. If I would say top 3, those are my top 3 of like the best pro wrestlers right now in the business. And that's from a overall everything standpoint. Character, in-ring, everything. So I'm just, match is going to be great. Gunther versus Randy Orton. The finals of the King of the Ring. Looking over at the other side, Queen of the Ring, Nia Jax, Lyra Valkyria. Doesn't feel as big, but still I think it's going to be a pretty good match. We're going to get the David versus Goliath, the giant versus the little, I guess you would say. We're going to see how that plays out as well. I think those two could have an okay to good match. I don't think it's going to be great or anything. But in the end, I do see Nia picking up that victory. And so, yeah, as far as the card itself does go, let me see what we got right now for King and Queen of the Ring. far as King and Queen of the Ring does go, 1 second here to switch this over. Whoops. Nope. I don't want to bookmark that. There we go. You know that on the show tomorrow, we have the 2 finals like we already talked about. We also do know that on the pre-show, as we talked about earlier, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill will be defending the Women's Tag Team Championships against Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell. Becky Lynch will defend the Women's World Championship against Liv Morgan. Sami Zayn will defend the Intercontinental Championship against Chad Gable and Bronson Reed. And then Cody Rhodes will defend the Undisputed Championship against Logan Paul. They've also not stated the match order. We don't know what's going on last. Is it Cody and Logan? Is it the finals of the King of the Ring? I could honestly see Gunther and Randy main eventing this show. Now, I think it's going to end up being Cody Rhodes and Logan Paul put that world title on in the main event. But I would not be opposed to Gunther and Randy going like 25 minutes in the main event, maybe even 30. So with that, we'll see how it all does play out tomorrow morning, or your early afternoon on the WWE Network and Peacock. So with that, have a great night, guys. Remember, you can follow us all over. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, podcast services all around the globe. Like, excuse me, try not to sneeze all of a sudden. Remember, I want to say thank you for joining us here. Twitch.tv/PW Unlimited, YouTube.com/Pro Wrestling Unlimited, and podcast services all around the globe like Stitcher, Spotify, Google Pod, Apple Pod, Anchor, iHeartRadio, and so much more. Remember, we will be back live tomorrow following King and Queen of the Ring. Then we got Sunday, Double or Nothing for AEW. Then we kick it back all off again, starting our week on Monday with Monday Night Raw. With that, guys, have a great rest of your night. I'll see you back here tomorrow for King and Queen of the Ring. Have a good one, guys.